Welcome everybody to High and Low, a podcast about talking picture shows.
We do films that are corny, and some that are horny, and some that win Academy Awards.
Doing all kind of movies from all kind of genres, serving hot takes like plates of lasagna.
Before we get going, a warning to you. You might hear some talk that's a little blue.
We sometimes cuss and we sometimes curse. We like to do it off the cuff and don't rehearse.
Now if this sounds like your kind of show,
Tune in,
Drop out.
This is High and Low.
Welcome to the High and Low podcast show from three middle-brow white dudes. Some genre movies reach dizzying heights while others plumb the depths of the lowest low. I'm Luke Slobod, getting high with a couple of lowlifes today. My co-hosts,
Vaughn Gonziola, happy to be here.
and Mitchell McIsaac. How's it going today, guys?
Couldn't be better. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day
Yeah.
at the High and Low studios.
The sun is shining. There's birds, songbirds tweeting around.
Little rockin' robins flitting around outside.
It's like a Cinderella.
It's not one of those deadly birds.
It's like Snow White.
Songbird.
It's cute. So today we're taking a little dip into the nom-sploitation genre with probably the undisputed peak of the genre. Maybe you wouldn't even call it an exploitation movie. Maybe you'd call it a bona fide cultural phenomenon. Rambo 2. First Blood Part 2, Rambo, I guess we should say.
There's a lot of colons. There's a lot of numbers. It's a punctuatedly complicated title to navigate through.
It gets, pretty crazy. Especially, I think, like later entries, more recent ones are just named like Rambo and stuff like that. There might be a Rambo 2 in there or a Rambo Revenge or something. It's the most confusing name convention until the Fast series came along.
It asks a lot of you, but if you are up for the ride, if you're up for another mission, another tour, then it is some beautiful waters to bask in.
You gotta let us win this time.
You gotta
let us win.
So, yeah, the movie, it takes such a hard turn from First Blood, where Rambo, he's on the run, he's just being misunderstood and treated like absolute garbage by people, like as a local town sheriff. And in this one, he's immediately busted out of prison and just like sent right back to Vietnam. They just turned him into an out-and-out killing machine, and I kind of love them for that.
This prison, this is the most typical movie prison activity, right? Like, he's in this place, and it's a place where you smash big rocks and turn them into smaller rocks. It's the most typical movie prison activity. Like, you'll never see one of these guys making a license plate or something. It's always just pickaxe, smash big rock into small rock. Just medieval punishment is what the United States has shown to offer its Vietnam veterans. And we're still right off the bat supposed to think they're the good guys.
Yeah,
sold them out.
But he just wants his country to love him as much as he loves it, and that's what this movie is really about.
Oh yeah, that's his grand speech. Yeah, like throughout the entire movie, Rambo is the man of few words, and he's like totally reliant on every other character to like talk him up and make him look really cool. Like, you know. The colonel, he's like, Rambo's made out of steel ball bearings. Rambo, he flosses his teeth with barbed wire. Right?
Colonel Troutman is the best wingman ever. He just, every time he comes into a room, the first thing's like, he's a killing machine. He only knows one thing, and that's how to survive.
Yeah.
I've seen him cut through entire platoons.
Yeah. What you call hell, he calls home. Yeah, Rambo's home. Yeah. Him, everybody else, like a random soldier will be like, "Aren't you Rambo? Didn't you like participate in that assault on like Ho Chi Minh City? Like,
didn't you burn 3 villages to the ground?"
Yeah, you got the Medal of Honor, didn't you?
Yeah, he's got quite the extensive list of accolades, and which makes him the perfect man for the job.
Yeah,
this movie wastes no time. Within 5 minutes, he's on a helicopter with a sleeveless Martin Cove.
Yeah,
heading to a military base.
Still,
learn his mission.
He has a great line when he's in the prison where like at first it seems like he just kind of wants to stick around there, and the colonel's like, "You can't possibly want to stay in this hell, Rambo." And Rambo's like, "At least I know where I stand."
Yeah, I know where I stand.
Like, he gets away with, like, in the first 15 minutes of this movie, barely saying anything. Every line he said, I made me want to punch him. Like, I liked Rambo in the First Blood movie. I never felt this way about him.
He was so sympathetic.
Yeah, but in this one, I'm like, there was just something about the expression on his face. I got used to it, but there was like a kind of vacancy there.
Expression?
Yeah. He had these vacant eyes. And
Well, we'll talk about this a little at our next movie, but I mean, you can't take for granted the amount of charisma he has. I mean, no matter, he's not Laurence Olivier here, but
he's one of those enigmas where
he's good to look at on
Holds
screen.
the camera.
Yeah.
Barrel chested and
There's moments of genius.
Yeah, he carries the tension very well until he's like gets his grenade arrows later. He's just a total ball of tension, just ready to explode on anything.
That has to be one of the all-time greatest film weapons. Those grenade arrows.
And we'll talk plenty about those. So anyway, he flies on the helicopter. He goes and meets up with Murdoch.
Yeah, total piece of shit.
Yeah, he's got big fucking chompers. Charles Napier is the actor who plays him. He's always playing a scumbag villain in some thing of authority, right?
And he can't stand this humid heat and this temperature.
Yeah,
God. Coca-Cola.
And then we get more of Rambo's dossier, right? And he's reading it out, and he says, Indian German. Hell of a combination.
That is interesting. Yeah, the mind wanders when that gets mentioned. You're trying to piece together how that works.
What does that mean? You get that with old boomer guys all the time. It's like, oh, she's Lithuanian. You know what that means.
That's a potent mixture.
Yeah. Very exotic.
Air quote. Might need to water that down. Might be too spicy for your palate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's getting the briefing. And after 5 minutes of them reading off all of his medals and accomplishments, turns out that there might be some boys who have been left back in the jungle, and by golly, Rambo's got to go and take some photographs. No blood and guts. Don't go with the blood and guts routine. He just needs to take some pictures.
Just reconnaissance.
Just an observation mission.
But here's a bunch of explosive arrows that can blow up an entire village just in case.
Yeah. You never know when you might need to capture a deer for food, and that's when an explosive arrow can come in pretty damn handy.
So they'll be in hamburger-sized chunks ready to go on the grill.
No need for a sausage maker.
Well, it'll throw it far enough that you can just forage as you go, so you can just kind of like eat and keep moving.
Like following the trail of breadcrumbs. Hansel and Gretel style.
Oh, venison, anyone? So then what? He gets his mission, and there's some back and forth. It's like, you better hope I don't come back alive, because like this guy.
Yeah. These are moments that will both be like almost directly parodied in Double Target.
Yeah.
Where like Donald, there's like an exact equivalent character. There's Donald Pleasance in Double Target. He's like the Senator Blaster. He's like the bureaucrat enemy for Rambo to like be the foil for Rambo's. Rambo surrogate.
The pencil pushers just don't know what war is like. They just know a desk, and there's nothing but resentment between them and all of the fine military.
Yes.
Yeah. So they make it clear, like he says to Troutman early on, "Oh, are they going to let us win this time?" Like, obviously, and he says it later on. Oh, this a war back home. It's the kind of war you don't win.
He's got another great line here where like Troutman's showing off all the equipment that's going to be used during the mission, and then he's like, "This is the greatest weapon we have, Rambo." And then Rambo's like, I think the mind is a great weapon. It's like,
yeah, philosopher all of a sudden.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rambo's full of them.
Yeah, but he's looking at all the technology, and he's like, I don't need it. I don't know if he pulls his knife out at this point. He pulls his knife out multiple times and brandishes it, but it got me thinking, like, does Sylvester Stallone, do his characters ever believe in technology, or they're always about just doing it the old-fashioned way, grit and determination?
That's true. There is always like a kind of anti-tech component. Like at one point, the colonel is telling off Murdoch in this, and he's like, nobody would know if Rambo disappears, would they? Like, it's just you and your damn computers. And you can reprogram those, can't you?
I mean, not to jump the gun, but the climax of the movie is him bursting in and just unloading an M16 on a bank of computers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a metaphor.
Inherently conservative viewpoint before these like technocrats kind of took over after the Reagan years. Is like you have to like push back at all of these namby-pamby little
Trying to take away the
pencil
working
neck
man.
geeks. Yeah.
American vets are just numbers on a spreadsheet to them.
Well, fucking, but yeah, which is, I guess, what a thing this movie gets right. But
This movie goes really it doesn't have a lot of room for nuance as far as what exactly transpired in Vietnam is concerned. It's just like straight up. We veterans could have won if we weren't betrayed. It's like a stabbed in the back myth for American Vietnam veterans.
But it's not just that part either. Like this movie helped popularize. It's absolutely a propaganda film. It helped popularize the idea that there were all these missing POWs in Vietnam long after the war had ended.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything so gymnastic since my last NFL game.
Yeah. Well, you're totally right about Sly Stallone taking a hard right turn, like with this and with Rocky 4, very uber patriotic.
He's fighting the Russians in 2 different franchises.
Yeah.
And winning. He's kicking their asses.
And he fights the Russians in Rambo 3 too, doesn't he? Like that's where he partners up with the Mujahideen.
Yeah. Bless him. Yeah, but he's back in Vietnam again, and he has to go. What does he have to do? He has to skydive out of a plane, and
they're dropping him out of this plane, and he got
shirtless Martin Cove,
look
contractually obligated to always have his
looking not quite as tight as he does now at like 70 years old, but still looking pretty good. He's a handsome man.
Yeah, he's and happy to see him. But Rambo tries to jump out, and his parachute gets he's like forgot to unhook his clip from the plane or something.
Yeah,
it look like
he gets all tangled up. They're immediately like, well, maybe we should abort the mission.
You'll be torn to shreds.
He said it twice. Let me repeat. You'll be torn to shreds.
Just unhook him. He'll be torn to shreds for the 3rd fucking time.
Yeah.
So Rambo pulls out his knife, his gigantic, like foot-long knife, and he cuts himself off.
Iconic.
And I gotta say, if this was made today, like it would be a huge sequence where he had to like his chute would come off and he'd have to like skydive to catch up with it and put his parachute on again in midair and like barely make it. But in this one, it's pretty tight. He's just like sawing himself off on the plane, and
it's kind of genius. Like as he goes, he's sawing off all his various equipment that he has on him, so that when he lands, he's basically totally naked on sight with like all his gear he had to cut off as he goes. It's scattered throughout the Vietnamese jungle.
He didn't seem to have too much trouble finding it though.
No.
He's an expert tracker.
Mm-hmm.
He could truck a Falcon on a.
Well, he's half German.
He could shoot a fly out of midair.
Shoot a hummingbird's pecker off at 50 yards. So that's the half Indian side? I don't know.
So he lands, he makes it. He's going through the ground. He sees somebody else, looks like a possible enemy combatant or something like that. He's on high alert. And turns out to be an attractive young woman who is his contact on the ground.
Yeah.
Definitely not doomed at all.
No. Nothing bad gonna happen to her.
She is like the ultimate cliche right from the get-go. Like her opening line is kind of a little not expecting a woman kind of thing.
Co is her name.
Yeah, I think Julie Nixon is the actress who plays her, and the script that they'd given her, she's not good in the movie.
No, she is very poorly served by the writing, for sure.
They make her talk like a cave woman.
Oh my god,
what mean expendable?
It was
A little foreshadowing for his next big friend.
You not expendable, Rambo.
No, you my friend.
I've never.
Asian people don't talk like
it was a major baby talk vibe. Like at first she was talking like a child, and it was really getting on my nerves. But then I realized that even talking like that, she was far more articulate than Rambo himself with his like 1 and 2 word answers to most everything.
Well, she's at like cave woman level. And
Yeah.
So like
he's like a protoplasm or he is or something. He has quite evolved to human.
crawling out of the water.
I mean,
He's making gurgling noises.
as babyish as she sounds, she does have a better handle on the English language than Rambo does for the most part. At least she enunciates.
This was I made note of this later on, not to jump around, I guess, but at a certain point, it was inevitable this was going to happen. They get a little bit of a shoehorned romance going on between Rambo and her.
I don't understand how that happens. They
No,
all like 5 minutes together.
he says,
They have electric chemistry.
yeah. They smooch,
Watching a board lean against a rock.
but between the time that they first kiss and like the shoehorned romance gets kicked off to the point where she gets machine gunned, Rambo only says 2 words to her, yeah and no. I'm pretty sure.
No. He tells his life story. They're on the riverboat. And she's like, how did you get here? It's like, it's a long story. And it never is. Situations, it's always like 30 seconds. It's like, I went back home and there was a different war there, a war you couldn't win. And it turns out wars everywhere.
Oh, God.
So now I'm back in the war. And like, that's his whole story. And he slurs it together. He can barely string 2 words together.
Whole story.
Yeah.
That was First Blood. That was...
Everything he says has like this read between the lines, very deep kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm not buying it. But they take their little riverboat trip, and they wind up. Where do they go? They make landfall, and they head to the village where all of the supposed prisoners are being held.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they find him.
Yeah,
Sure enough. Yeah. He busts this one guy. He's getting like crucified or whatever. Some blue-eyed American hero.
Yeah. There's some epic torture going on here. There's like this movie takes place late 80s, right? So these guys have presumably been
late mid-80s, 1985 on the dot.
My birth year.
They've been captured for a long time. They're like all emaciated, and there's some good wholesome torture going on here.
This movie does have some pretty good torture throughout, and a few different times.
Yeah.
So Rambo sneaks in at night, right? And he goes, like, he sees one patrolling guard, and he goes, "Don't," and he says something, and he throws a knife in the guy's fucking chest. He's immediately dead.
Yeah. Oh, that knife is sweet, though.
Throws another arrow through somebody's head.
Oh, God. That knife is the ultimate multi.
Yeah, they pull this guy out, and there's just like dead bodies all over the camp, and nobody realized until morning.
They didn't. Well, the thing is, they didn't not even realize. Like, the one they found was the one that he killed by the riverbank, and he shot guards he shot the one guard who was like swiveling the light around. Like, yeah, you would think somebody would notice. Yeah,
He was not subtle.
no, he just left, but he's just get in, get out.
Yeah.
And they're on their way. He's just leaving bodies in his wake already, and
He's using the knife to clip barbed wire. I had no idea that's what that little those grooves on the back of a big knife like that were for.
that's what the grooves on the back of his big knife.
See, that's the thing, man. You got to sharpen your knife.
Yeah.
Using his best weapon.
You got to use your
It's
mind.
got everything. It has a little compass on the inside. Like, that knife has everything he needs.
Man.
It's that's the only thing he needs.
Yeah.
Actually, he had some line about that in the first one too, where they're like, "What can you do with a knife?" And he's like, "Everything."
This podcast is sponsored by K-Bar 9.
Oh, so they take him back. They run into an enemy boat, and
The pirates double crossed.
right, yeah, they were riding with pirates on the way there. Rambo was skeptical, and it turns out rightfully so.
Yeah,
because
they saw
immediately
Russian munitions in the bottom of the boat.
Yeah.
At
Rambo.
least it was the Russians, even when it was the Vietnamese.
Yeah. This is the point where I started liking this Rambo. Like, I was annoyed with him at the beginning of the movie, but then he's being, like, super observant on the boat. He's, like, he's being, like, a little sneaky, like, pointing out boxes of ammunition and stuff with his foot.
He's more in his element.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of place. He's been out of place every step of the way up until now.
This is where it pays off.
This movie's about going back home.
Yeah, exactly.
And his home is hell.
We should have paired this with Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, there's no place like no.
Well, I mean,
Rambo gets those glass slippers at the end.
Oh, yeah. What's that material that her necklace is made out of? Is that jade?
It's jade. Green. It's a green stone.
That's his version of a ruby slipper.
It just we'll get to his jewelry selection later.
Does that? I was wondering, like, have you guys seen the newer Rambo movies?
I've seen all of them.
Is he still wearing like the jade necklace in this? In those?
I don't know.
Doubt it.
Yeah, that would have been that would be like such a cool little callback to this movie. But
that's the type of like weepy sentimentality you'd find in Cobra Kai.
Well,
where just like everything's remembering the olders.
Here's the thing about Rambo 2 is the screenplay was done by Sylvester Stallone and James Cameron.
That's right.
That's why this is the only Rambo with a romance subplot in it, because James Cameron knows fucking story structure and he always puts a romance or whatever. Like,
yeah,
he tries to add emotional stakes to these action movies, and well, goddammit, he's the best at it.
He's successful most of the time.
Yeah.
This is a rare miss with Rambo 2.
Well, I don't know.
Well, yeah, he's got the golden touch. Like, I'm thinking he did all he could. You know, I don't want to think of this movie without a James Cameron co-writing credit.
Mm-hmm. No, he does help add that touch of humanity, because Sly's movies are, unless they're like self-pitying, they're just like a little bland.
Yeah,
but
he's got his flashes of brilliance, and then his long stretches where he's not so brilliant.
So anyway, the boats, they're overtaken by some other boats. I think it's military guys, Russian guys.
Yeah.
And they're shooting at them. Rambo kills everybody on the fucking boat, just massacres them. Gets Ko off the boat just in time.
Yeah.
We have some amazing stunts. The boat blowing up right as Rambo jumps off it.
I clocked it. First bazooka, 40 minutes in. They use a bazooka to blow the boat up.
That's amazing restraint for a Rambo film.
Yeah. We'll talk about some differences between that and the next.
We get a lot of bazookas in both. This is just the bazooka series.
Yeah, there's clever bazooka usage.
I love it. Lots of just, projectile explosives, and they make good use of it throughout the entire, from here on out. From here on out, there's just explosives, explosions.
The goddamn stunts are excellent.
Yeah.
Everything you're seeing here is better than anything in any modern action movie outside of
they're blowing things up left and right. It looks great.
Right.
And they're off. Now Rambo's he's being hunted again, and
when he's off on this boat, they're like machine gunning it like relentlessly, and he's just like kind of laying flat on the ground, and I don't know. It felt like a couple minutes where they're just machine gunning the boat, and it's just getting riddled, and the Rambo is just like, by the grace of God, just narrowly avoiding these bullets. And then he stands up, and there's like an enemy soldier on the roof of the boat who like grabs him behind with a garrote kind of thing, and like he's choking Rambo, and it's like, how the hell did that guy survive that barrage of machine gun fire? That like 2-minute relentless nonstop barrage of machine gun fire.
Crafty
plot armor.
Yeah. This is not an enemy to be underestimated.
We had to watch that guy get gutted with Rambo's knife.
Yeah.
So they make it out of there. They make it off the river. They make it to the extraction point, which is through these rice paddies, and they're just getting lit up by machine gun fire all over the fucking place.
And the Rambo, the radioing, the choppers are coming in. They're coming in hot. Martin Cove is coming, and
the time the clock was like ticking down. Rambo had to get to this area.
Meanwhile, the whole time back at the end, back at base, Murdoch is like, "Where is he? Your boy's running late." And like they gave him like 36 hours, and after like 2 hours, he's like, "Your boy's a goner. We're gonna pull the plug. We're gonna get him out. We're gonna abort."
But then they get word on radio that Rambo has a prisoner with him.
Yes.
And as Murdoch's sitting there chomping an uncut peanut butter jam sandwich on white bread, as you do,
Rambo disobeyed the
denied. Deny. Abort.
Abort the mission. Abort the
Yeah.
mission.
The mission was to take pictures.
Yeah, and
Rambo overstepped his authority on this mission, and he rescued the American POW, the one that was being crucified.
Yeah. And Rambo, once again, he realizes that his country just doesn't love him as he watches the helicopter.
Why?
He knew it.
They're not letting him win. They're not letting him win this
Let him
time.
win the fucking war.
And they left him. They left him. And so Rambo and his POW buddy, they get captured again. Ko manages to stay hidden in the bushes or behind the tree line. So she's still in play, and we're off to the Rambo prison scene.
Yeah, there's some good various tortures in the scene.
Like cut to him like neck deep in a leech pool.
Yeah, it's just like a mud pit.
It's like where the trough of their privy, their outhouse, it goes and flows down. You can see piss and shit going right down on him.
Man, they gave a little shit bath, man.
They put him in there.
This is what he calls home.
Yeah,
He's covered in leeches.
yeah. I've heard of spas where you bathe in beer,
Yeah.
and this is just another thing.
Yeah.
Some people bathe in beer, some people bathe in shit.
It's very rich in minerals.
Oh, his body's gonna be so smooth. That's how he's so silky and glistening throughout the duration of the rest of the movie.
We've all taken a mud bath before. What's the difference?
But they hoist them out. These Russians land. Now the Russians are fully in play.
Yeah, this is where it's revealed that the actual enemy really is the Russians.
It's always the Russians. Mm-hmm. And they hoist them up, and the buddy starts just cutting these leeches off of him.
Yeah.
That's not so bad. I mean, not so gruesome as far as things go. I don't know if you guys have ever swam in an Ontario or an Alberta lake.
Yeah.
Man,
I've had
shit
a leech
leeches are
on
the
me.
least of your worries if you go for a swimming around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing.
Just slime, rivers of slime. And so basically the Russian guy, now he wants information. He's like, who do you work for? Phone them, tell them it's an... No, that's German. Either way, it's a bad accent.
One of those bad guy accents.
Yeah. You immediately know they're the bad guys because, they're just dunking people in shit puddles, and then they are tying them to like some sweet electric beds.
Yeah, this is an interesting form of torture. Sylvester Stallone puts a lot of weight into the action performance here because basically, when you break it down, they've just got him kind of chained up to a bed frame, it looks like a metal spring, like box spring for a mattress or something.
Mm.
And then every once in a while, the Russians will like press a button on it, and then Sylvester Stallone just has to act like it's the most excruciating thing.
He doesn't yell out. He's just stoic about it, but
does give him a fuck.
Yeah.
Twisted test your strength.
Yeah.
give him an Oscar already.
They do say, I'm pretty sure it's here where he's like, it's okay to scream.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, sure enough,
He does.
Yeah, obliges. It's part of the hero's journey. This is his, like, his a moment of truth, his low point. He's being tortured.
Poor man deserves his catharsis.
He's tied to the mattress
He's
spring.
made of steel, though, just like he's not giving in, not an inch. And while this is happening, Ko's sneaking under and blasts it, and she's ready to go. And he doesn't even need her help, though. He just like smashes.
He escapes on his own, doesn't he?
Yeah.
She gets a couple good little saves in there, though.
Oh, he pretends that he's gonna make the phone call and he's gonna make the radio call.
Oh well, here's the detail I noticed is when he escapes and he kicks Petrovsky or one of those guys. They land on this bag that says donated by the United States, not for resale. So it's like a slight little jab at like we're giving foreign aid to these fucking countries.
Unbelievable. Your tax dollars at work.
Your tax dollars here funding the Russians.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, just banging the drum the entire time, every chance they get.
Elect Jimmy Carter. This is what happened.
These CIA guys, they're dirty.
So Rambo gets out of there. He gets on the radio, right? And then that's where he's radioing in, right?
Yeah, he's radioing and
Murdoch, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just fucking calls it Murdoch out full blast.
They'll like do there's like an exact duplicate of this scene in Double Target 2 where like Rambo gets to the Rambo stand-in in that movie gets to threaten the bureaucrat. And I think Rambo's threat's a lot better, where he's just like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
He's so much scarier than
Yeah.
O'Keefe.
He's best.
Miles O'Keefe, Bob Ross, Agent Bob Ross, as he's called.
Bob Ross.
He's like, his threat is like, I'm going to come back here and put your suitcase up your ass.
I'm going to shove that inhaler down your throat. Yeah. And then I'm going to shove your briefcase up your ass.
And then he winks at Donald Pleasance.
I'm just Bob Ross. I'm just going to come over there and do a happy genocide in Vietnam.
I'm hiding in a happy little bush. Happy little accident this happened.
A couple of happy little Agent Orange.
We're just going to put a little bit of napalm right over here. Right in this little corner. Just put a little bit of napalm.
It's the perfect name.
Rambo 2.
Yeah, we'll talk about Bob Ross a lot, I'm sure. So he radios in, but turns out after he threatens Murdoch, he had a plan. He smashes the guy in the face with the radio and then kills 6 people with his bare hands.
Should have seen it coming.
He's using them as human shields, and he comes out and goes, like, hey, yeah. He had no idea.
Is this where Murdoch has the really sweaty armpits after Rambo threatens him here, or is that later?
It's just always. And so I think that's when they cut back to Murdoch. Cobra Kai guy Martin. He goes and gets a nice cold Coca-Cola, and you can really see that Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Vietnam, brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cold,
America.
refreshing.
There's nothing more American.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Rambo, they bust out. Does he blow this? He frees all the prisoners while he's going, and I'm pretty sure he torches this whole outpost, this whole village, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He just raises it to ash.
Well, yeah. When he frees all the prisoners, that's when he's got the helicopter, isn't it? Like that's when he like invades the village and just like totally burns it to the ground with like the machine gun and the rockets and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then he liberates all the prisoners and kind of makes off with them in the helicopter.
That's the moment where like dads are supposed to pump their fist. Like every dad is fist pumping so hard they're pulling muscles.
Yeah.
That's a little further, I think.
Okay, so
he escapes with Cole, right?
Yeah, they get away.
And then they have the nice heart-to-heart, and this is when it's like, when you go back to America, you take me with you,
Yeah.
right?
They have their smooch.
Yeah, they kiss, and so then immediately she gets fucking squibbed up.
It is absolutely hilarious how quickly, like, the second the shoehorned romance gets started, she turns around and gets machine gunned to death.
Now it's personal.
Nobody could fire a fucking shot, even at like 50 yards at anybody, until like this guy from like a million miles away just like totally peppers her.
Here's some emotional stakes.
And he snaps. Mendoza.
Yeah, this is where he takes her jade necklace, and he probably kills like another half a dozen people here or something. He kills that guy for sure.
Yeah. This is where Jerry Goldsmith, the god, Jerry Goldsmith's fucking score really starts ramping up. Like, yeah.
Beautiful 80s action score.
The best. The absolute best.
And not to besmirch Double Target. That's got a pretty good score too, but...
This movie had some more money behind it for sure. I couldn't even find how much the budget of Double Target was. It's probably like whatever Flora Films had in their collective pockets that day.
They made it work for them impressively.
But so now what does he do? Now he goes back. He gets his grenade arrows out.
Yeah, he's going berserk.
Yeah,
he finds this guy. I don't know if it. There's this one guy, and they're standing on the falls, and it's like a really great like shot. It looks like a split diopter shot because you see the guy in the foreground, and then you see Rambo way in the background, and it kind of focuses in and focuses out. And then Rambo loads up that explosive arrow, and this guy shoots like 100 rounds at Rambo. He's standing there completely still. He can't fucking hit him. He loads up the explosive arrow.
Oh yeah,
the dummy. It's some great dummy explosions.
Yeah,
like we've seen
a man explodes.
Yeah, we've seen already those explosive arrows. Like 4 of them can take out an entire village. He shoots one into this guy's den.
Yeah, this guy is staring him down, firing he empties out his rifle at Rambo, and then he switches over to the pistol. Rambo's just standing there as the bullets ricochet against the rocks around.
Really takes his time while he's notching his arrow.
Yeah.
And then the guy realizes he's fucked. Like there's like, oh no, I pissed off Rambo.
Oh yeah. He starts off shooting, then he's like, he kind of like half-heartedly tries to run away, and then he's like, well, okay, I better turn back around and start shooting. Arrow! He explodes into.
And then the helicopter comes, and Rambo's at the top of this waterfall, and the helicopter comes and shoots at the waterfall, and he has to jump, and he jumps, and it turns out the entire thing is made of dynamite because the whole fucking like and the whole hill is just totally.
It's an amazing explosion.
It's a great explosion.
It's fucking huge. That whole waterfall, yeah.
Yeah, it was sweet. And then Rambo.
This was like the weirdest weapon. The helicopter swept in, and it had like something attached to the bottom of it. It kind of looked like a bomb, but not really. It almost looked like a barrel. And I don't know what this thing was.
Charge or something.
Yeah, but it had the firepower just to light up an entire valley.
Yeah, it's a sweet explosion. I'm a big sucker for explosions, and this one is up there. It's a good one.
Yeah, and I think then does that immediately go into the helicopter chase? Like, where does Rambo?
No. The helicopter chase comes
to the helicopter.
Yeah, that goes. Okay, so then he goes. He's swimming. He's going through another river. Did he pack a spare pair of socks, you think, or is he getting some jungle foot out there? Because he's just waiting.
Jungle ass, jungle foot.
He's a Nam vet,
This shit doesn't bother him at all.
I would guess he's probably making makeshift socks out of bamboo and hemp and whatever you can find, in the jungle.
Yeah, he has knife.
Yeah, exactly.
Knife socks. So he goes, he takes...
What am I going to do with all this lingerie I made for my girlfriend? He said, well, I can use it.
Yeah.
Just weaving some palm fronds in my off time.
Always good to have some change of under things.
Turns out the prison he was in, before we cut to him earlier, he was probably just had his little knitting time. It was a really nice place. And but so then he lays waste to a village. He's like, he goes and he frees all the prisoners, and he's on the run. He kind of tears through the village. And did anybody see the chicken? Did people notice the chicken? That there's a nice slow zoom into it.
We saw the chicken. It was there for no reason. Our reason.
So this is the last time I saw this movie. I thought it was for no reason. The movie just like pauses. It's a chase scene, and he just lets slow zoom in on a chicken, and then it just like cuts to the soldiers coming chasing after him, running through a field, and they follow this fake trail of blood. He killed the chicken and left a trail of chicken blood.
Oh, genius!
Super cool detail.
Oh, okay, that is a cool detail.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be some more like in the background political satire, like this chicken is named Jimmy Carter. Actually, he's chicken.
It's a bizarre choice. It's the weirdest choice ever.
Really.
To be like, what am I going to do?
But it's not shown very well.
Not at all. But
I didn't
that's
pick
the
up
thing
on
the
that.
first movie does so much better is it shows all the ingenuity.
Well, it's showing him whittling his, he's whittling his little steaks and like setting everything up. And this, it's just
He learned in the jungles of Nam.
But I appreciated it this time to be like, that's pretty cool. Because So, anyways, then he gets away. Then he steals a helicopter somewhere along the way.
He has the helicopter, and he's involved in this like amazing helicopter chase scene with like the Russians.
It was a really good helicopter chase scene.
This is right out of like, this would be right at home in like Top Gun Maverick or something like that. It's like a pretty incredible chase scene.
And he's got that, I don't know at what point he's in the helicopter by himself, but he can somehow fire the mounted machine gun everywhere that's side mounted on the helicopter while he's flying the helicopter.
Yeah, he's using his wang or something. I don't know. He's got
That's what you get. He's a Medal of Honor winner.
Yeah, twice.
He can do that kind of stuff.
He's got a couple Medal of Honors.
5-time Purple Heart, I think they said.
His stomach, pat his head, fly a helicopter, and commit war crimes all at once.
Yeah.
He's probably piloting the helicopter with his hands and reaching back with his leg to fire the machine gun.
Yeah, he's just really blowing everything up in sight at this point. And but then the Russian colonel or whatever military Petrovsky, he's after him, and he's got a better helicopter, I think.
Yeah,
he's got
has bigger guns,
more missiles.
I think that's a Russian Hind D.
Oh,
I think.
Very good.
We have a sleeper cell agent over here.
I don't know if
True
you
colors are showing, eh, comrade?
if you guys have ever played the Metal Gear Solid series of video games. I didn't really realize it until I was watching Rambo, this like Rambo 2 viewing, but it is just, that video game series is totally ripped off from Rambo, like beat for beat. Like a Russian, there's a Russian helicopter in the first one, a Hind D. Looks just like that.
This is
That's cool.
it's an influential movie. I mean, its stuff is all over video games, Contra, everything.
Yeah.
As we'll discuss with our next movie, it spawned a sub. I mean, yeah.
Well, Nom-sploitation might as well be called Rambo-sploitation.
Yeah, there's a few, like, it's not like it didn't happen before. Like, Chuck Norris did a couple back in the 70s and stuff, but this is, like, by the time you get to
His
Rambo 2,
cultural impact is incalculable.
yeah. He's just, so we all play the box office game, like, every day, and Rambo 2 comes up every other week, it seems like. It had a huge staying power.
It was the second highest grossing film of 1985, I believe. Can either of you guess the number one?
Back to the Future.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not checking or fact checking right now. I'm just sure that's it.
I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
But so sweet, awesome movie, and with a good cause, because it has sweet stuff like this, the helicopter chase, and then the Petrovsky shoots a rocket or something like that, and thinks that he got Rambo, and he kind of goes around the corner,
tail spinning out. This is beautiful. He plays possum in the water.
I don't know why he just wouldn't blow this helicopter up from Kingdom to Kingdom.
Rambo knew that Petrovsky couldn't resist playing his little game of cat and mouse.
He had the perfect size hole in the windshield for him to fit his fucking bazooka through.
Yeah.
He probably made that hole just like before.
With his knife. He just chiseled it.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same scene that was in the next movie.
Yeah.
And bye bye Petrovsky.
It's very satisfying.
Rambo loads all the prisoners up, and he heads back to base.
Yeah.
And everybody's free. Everybody's so happy.
Murdoch is like,
he's livid.
He is. If you thought he was sweaty before, he is sweating bullets now.
Rambo was coming to get me.
Yeah, he gets back to the base, and there's Martin Cove. And he's like, oh, Rambo, I'm so glad you made it. And he just kicks him in the balls.
Cans him.
Downs him.
Smacks him in the jaw.
Yeah, that's, at first I'm like, that's a little unwarranted. He was just following orders, but also, fuck that guy. He could have just saved everybody.
Oh, he earned that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Rambo's like, oh, yeah, I'm the best soldier ever. But he never follows orders. He has no respect for any soldiers that do.
No, he does that. He does what it takes to win.
He's a bad soldier.
He's got his own agenda.
They won't let him win.
They won't let him win.
It's just the Dirty Harry trope, just applied to the military.
Yeah. Yeah, to the nth degree.
There's too much red tape. I can't just shoot every black kid I see in the streets. What kind of nation is this now?
What's the point of having a machine gun?
It's all about law and order. And there is no law. There is no order. Not in the jungle. Know where I've been. So he bursts into the office. Murdoch's shitting his pants. Rambo takes his fucking huge knife out. Is he gonna do it? He stabs him, and then you look and you see he stabbed his tie.
Yeah.
And he teaches him.
Got his ass.
Punked him so hard.
He made his
He
point.
should have just killed him. We just watched him massacre like 200 pretty much innocent people.
Yeah.
Why not kill Murdoch?
This fucker deserves it more than any.
Yeah. Kill him and then go disappear into the jungle.
Yeah.
Live out the rest of your days in the
He
jungle.
should have. Instead, he just unloads on all of this hardware, just blows up
Yeah.
the bat cave.
As he's firing off the gun.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Flashing lights and sparks.
Unhooks the gun from the helicopter. This is the helicopter's side gun. And then he just he's got the ammo draped over his hand. And he makes his not so subtle point.
Yeah, but then he makes an even less subtle point where, he's about to storm off, and Troutman's like, Rambo, you don't have to hate your country for it. He goes, hate it. I'd die for it. And then he has this big, spiel where it's like, I just wish that my country, that they loved us as much as we love it.
Yeah, it's all been building up to this. Rambo's been the strong, silent type for the entire movie, and this is his big speech.
I hate it so much. It's such a... it falls so flat compared to the first movie.
First one
Yeah.
is such a point. It's
That's
such an indictment. It was saying something.
Yeah.
This is like in Rambo 2, the studio got notes. It's like, okay, we like John Rambo killing people. We like him hunting in the traps. Does it have to be? We don't like police officers getting hurt. So how about we send them someplace where, we still don't like, we don't like the Russians, do we? We don't like the communists. Why don't we just send them over to Vietnam again? And
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1.
yeah, and we don't like how he was saying bad things about the people in his country. Let's just really gussy that up and make it seem like America's great. It's worth living for. It's worth dying for. And
That's right.
They do give a shit about you, but they don't.
Love America, but hate those bureaucrats.
It's always the bureaucrats.
Movies, politics are fucking reprehensible.
They're so bad.
It's wretched.
Yeah.
It did a lot. It set back. America still hasn't reconciled itself with the Vietnam War. It just can't come to grips with the fact that they lost it.
Yeah.
And why they lost it, and the fact why they shouldn't have been there in the first place. They don't take care of their fucking veterans. And this movie does nothing to address any of that shit.
No,
All of that was folded in so well.
it's all this movie's an Uncle Rico approach to the Vietnam, where it's just like, back in, if they would put me back in Nam, if they let us win, I could have demolished the whole country.
They'd given me a helicopter and some missiles and a machine gun. I could have solved Vietnam.
They would have won state if they put Rambo in and unfettered back in the day.
You see those mountains over there? I could fly this helicopter right over
I could level them with a bazooka.
But it really leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
It's hard to enjoy it. Like, the action's really good, but just the shitty message. And then
it goes right into the Frank Stallone song.
sometimes a good song over the credits will kind of make me come around to it, and this is not one of those times. This movie is dog shit.
He says
The song, I was laughing my ass off at the song before I realized who was singing it. I waited out the credits, and I saw the
Peace in our life.
Oh, God. He says, we gave our hearts. We gave it all. It's like, oh, yeah, that's...
so fucking
man,
cat and
that really encapsulates Rambo.
yeah.
The Vietnam vets, man, they gave their hearts. They gave it all. And those damn bureaucrats.
noted veteran Frank Stallone.
Support the troops.
Noted veteran of getting trolled on X by me and blocking me, maybe.
Yeah.
What else did he do?
Nothing. He's ridden some coattails to some great places, and
They took part of Jerry Goldsmith's score to make the melody for that song.
was he at January 6th?
Sure didn't do I didn't see him there, but I mean,
Is
I don't
it
know, there was a lot of people there. It was a great day.
I'm pretty sure Frank Stallone did the music for the Saturday Night Fever sequel, which Sylvester Stallone, I'm pretty sure, directed that movie.
Oh my! I didn't.
So they're collaborators.
Day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's got to go on the list for sure. Yeah. Saturday Night Fever against Staying Alive, the much derided sequel.
How the Mighty Have Fallen.
Yeah.
And also with Rambo First Blood Part 2, I think it's a big step down from First Blood.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty damn good popcorn flick.
Yeah, good action.
There's a few good sequences in there for sure.
A lot of the poor acting and just kind of like all that shit's pretty forgivable. The politics does leave a bad taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Goldsmith score slaps.
Yeah. There's explosions. People get stabbed. What more could you ask for?
Well, you could ask for an Italian ripoff titled Double Target.
Made 2 years later in 1987. We just talked about Rambo 2. It started a genre. It was so influential that 2 years later, some gents down over in Italy decided to make Double Target, 1987.
Double Target. Directed by Vincent Don, which is almost certainly a pen name for Bruno Mattei.
Yeah, got to American it up for the Western audiences.
And may have also been co-directed by Claudio Fragasso,
Yeah.
who we may know from Troll 2 and many other great masterworks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's left his impression all throughout film. for a period there, and in this one he really, I don't know, it's a great, it's fun. Double Target's just it's a ripoff. It's a complete beat for beat ripoff of Rambo 2. Like every step,
Pretty close.
with a couple of key details.
So we changed a few things.
Immediately we where do we start off? Hong Kong. It starts off in Hong Kong, and people are just being
a bunch of like Southeast Asian places. There's just like a series of terrorist attacks going on.
The first one's Hong Kong. You see this ambulance going really fucking fast. And there's these guys in the back.
This is an elaborate plot.
It's so
like
elaborate.
2 minutes to the first exploding dummy in this movie compared to, I clocked that in Rambo at like, an hour 15 or something
that
like
movie's
that.
for babies.
They need,
This ain't your mama's Rambo.
no, this movie had a healthier budget, or dummy budget. If Rambo, even though Rambo had a better budget in every other way.
Yeah. Oh, this movie
could afford that one movie could afford Frank Stallone songs.
yeah. This movie could only dream.
Yeah. So just there's a plot. People are dying all over.
There's a very overcomplicated plot to attack this hospital where, like, there's an ambulance that's been hijacked, I guess, by these terrorists, and they pull up to the emergency ward of the hospital and they wheel out a guy and he's on a gurney and they go in. It's like this must have taken months of planning. I think they get accomplished the same thing just walking in there with a machine gun.
That's basically all they did. They just basically
they just blew their cover right away.
They got 50 feet in the door.
Yeah.
They were able to kill the right security guard at the right time.
And like if they needed the guy on the gurney to get past like a high security area or something, but no, they walk in, he gets off the gurney, and they start shooting.
They were there to kill this guy who's in bed, recovering in the hospital, and he's like, "What's going on out there?" And he has an armed guard. What difference did it make that there was an armed guard there? Like, all they did was walk in and shoot the armed guard and shoot.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't matter anything.
Poor planning.
They all look suspicious as all hell anyway.
It worked though. They just shot everything.
Yeah. And then eventually our genius plan worked.
Yeah. Assumably everybody who needed to died within 90 seconds.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Then it immediately cuts to the Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we're in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
We got Bob Ross chilling in KL.
No. We're not there yet.
Not there yet.
Oh, that's where the military base attack is. Is that Kuala Lumpur? Yeah. There's three attacks going off simultaneously.
Yeah, so we're at the U.S. Navy base in Kuala Lumpur, and you see there's some Asian ladies, and there's a drunken sailor dressed up like Donald Duck.
Yeah.
What do you do with him?
Sailor
Early in the morning.
Yeah.
What do you do with the drunken sailor? You toss him out, they toss him out, and then this lady comes running out. She goes, "Oh, hang on, you forgot something." And then she just turns into a dummy and explodes. Everybody's fucking dead in the Navy base.
Boom.
Then we cut to the Philippines, I think.
Right.
The Philippines. That's where the bar is in the Philippines.
I think I got all this wrong. No, the bar was in the Philippines.
Yeah, and that's where the lady explodes. But suffice to say, there's a sophisticated, coordinated terrorist attack going down.
No, it was the car bomb in the Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, it runs through the what do you call it?
This is
the checkpoint.
Yeah, it runs through the gate, and they're shooting everybody, and then it's like, oh, it's a car bomb. So then the guy's also driving the car, blew up the whole embassy or whatever. Like that's like just the first 180 seconds of this movie.
Yeah.
You get 3 massacres immediately.
It starts off with multiple bangs.
3 different countries are all over the place.
Fucking incredible. It's beautiful. Most movies wouldn't show it. This movie shows it.
But, who doesn't know, our pal Bob Ross, who's living in like bucolic bliss, just sipping Budweiser.
Crushing Budweisers. There's no sip. There's empty Budweiser cans everywhere.
Just
sucking that down like
Jack
water.
Too. Like nobody who's sucking down Budweisers like that has a body like that.
No.
He looks like Clint Eastwood on steroids, basically.
Yeah, taller, lanky dude, but like pretty buff. He's fucking
Yeah.
He's a very attractive man. He's quite handsome.
Yeah. Drinking like he has a problem.
He looks like a model.
He's distractingly handsome. Like he doesn't look like
No. He doesn't have like that Kurt Russell kind of like gruff edge, or like you said, Clint Eastwood. He doesn't have that like.
He's trying to be Kurt Russell or Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
Cannot do it.
he's a
so
B grade substitute for that kind of actor.
It has like soft angelic features. Just
and he's trying to do that tough guy gruff thing, and he's trying to act smirking.
Yeah, he's not terrible, but he can't quite pull it off.
Yeah, which is just fine for this movie. It's exactly what they expected and what they wanted.
They just can't take that smirk off his face.
No.
This is where we first hear the I guess the main theme too, which is like super John Carpenter-esque. Like this is like, it sounds like it could be right out of Escape from New York kind of thing.
And that refrain's kind of rad the first time you hear it, but after about 192 cues, it's fucking old.
I get the point.
They only had 30 seconds of tape when they laid down the track. So, yeah, he's just hanging out, and he sees the news. He sees news about all these different attacks happening.
Yeah, and this is where he gets like we get introduced to like his main motivation in the movie, right? He's talking to this like Vietnamese bureaucrat.
I just want my son back.
Yeah, he's got like a son who's he's trapped in Vietnam. As is looking, his long lost Amerasian son is how the description on Arrow describes him, and I'm like, oh yeah.
That's a term I've never heard before.
No, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe that's it gets like a little ambiguous, I think, where everything's taking place here. Like it's kind of a Southeast Asia, like you said. It jumps around from like Kuala Lumpur and the Philippines.
Those are terrorist attacks by communists in those countries, which doesn't make any sense. And then
I was wondering about.
He says, "Well, this is the People's Republic of Vietnam," and he's sitting there behind a portrait of Ho Chi Minh, Uncle Ho. God bless him, we love him. This is a pro Ho Chi Minh podcast.
Love and respect.
Pro Ho.
And yeah, and the bureaucrat, always bureaucrats getting into trouble. And it's like your son. He's a son. He's a proud son of Vietnam, and he'll stay here, and you have no claim to him.
Yeah, he had this kid with a Vietnamese lady who was like sympathetic to the Americans, I guess, and then she got taken into this re-education camp by the Vietnamese.
He said concentration camp. He said it's a re-education camp.
Yeah. Get all those wacky American ideas out of her head,
But be there, no mistake. There was a camp.
Yes, there was a camp,
and she died in it.
Yeah.
And
she was probably in there like Rambo, smashing big rocks into smaller rocks.
Not before having Jan, the son that
Yes,
he's going after. So one thing this movie does better than Rambo 2, I think, is it gives you everything fast and sooner. Like you get emotional stakes right out the gate. You know what he's after, and it's not some convoluted rah.
From this like office meeting where he's meeting with this bureaucrat to talk about his son, he basically gets kidnapped. He like the bureaucrat's like, okay, yeah, he's like, get into the back of the car now. Come with us.
Oh, it's Russians and stuff.
There's Russians watching in a shadowy room with this one Russian colonel. He's like, say, who's that guy? I think he's exactly what we need to accomplish our convoluted plan.
I believe that's Bo Svensson, Colonel Galkin.
Yeah.
These Russians have a lot of audacity. It's like they take him to this like weird dark room and they do a little karate ambush.
They take him to a very poorly lit room. It's lit worse than a high school drama play.
And this guy holds a karate.
Yeah, he jumps out of the darkness.
Karate chop.
He's a martial arts expert.
Like he would kill you. He's a martial arts expert.
Bo Spencen's like, you don't know how close you are to just getting your head karate chopped off.
No. Bob Ross said, we're just gonna paint a little karate chop right across your head. Maybe we'll just draw your little head spiral.
A little slash right over here.
I think he said he'd make that guy a eunuch if he tried. That real badass lines. Oh my God.
Yeah. I wanted him to. They didn't do this, but after they said that, he should have like the camera should have panned down and he should have had his knife on like the guy's testicles. They didn't show that though. Did they?
He had a knife.
No, he needed a Rambo knife.
I think it was implied that he would rip the man's testicles off.
God, barehanded. I hope he brought gloves. That's not very sanitary.
Yeah, let you try my honey badger style.
Just give me a moment to put on my latex gloves here.
And I thought this was really rich. These Russians, they have the audacity to ask him. They're like, "What do you want, Bob Ross?" And it's they kidnapped him. They brought him there. They're like, "What do you want from us?" And he didn't even know who they were 10 seconds ago.
He clocked them the minute he walked in the door, though. This guy,
That's true. He's a cut above.
yeah, he's been around. He probably knows that guy's rank, his
Yeah.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
His military history.
Oh yeah.
He's wise to it. He escapes.
Yeah.
He beats up these fuckers. And he gets out of there, and it's daytime. It's broad daylight when he comes in there. Like, guys are having hot dogs and stuff from street vendors on the outside open. That's disgusting. I don't know if you guys have been to Southeast Asia. There's lots of great street food.
Oh yeah,
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Those hot dogs on sticks, those avoid.
Mystery me.
I love a good hot dog stick. I was recently at the Heritage Days, a place where we just have a bunch of local people cooking cooking their food, and I got hot dogs on a stick twice from 2 different nationalities.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Interesting.
You're a braver man than me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's running away, and then
There's a pretty good chase through there. Like
Yeah,
an open air market chase.
Yeah, it's an open-air night market.
He has to jump out of the building first, and as he does so, as a good American boy, he says his prayers.
Yeah. What does he say when he lands?
Our Father who art in heaven. He's like flying through the air.
God bless him and this movie.
Yeah.
So he's diving, and it's immediately nighttime, and it's a night market, and he's crashing through every stall, just wrecking the entire night market.
This is it's a great chase location.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit can just fly everywhere.
Yeah, lots of stuff flying around, and he gets away. And then I don't know.
He's rescued by the 2 agents in the chopper. Like he gets to he runs through the market. He gets to this gate. He throws it open, and there's a helicopter waiting there on the other side.
Well, yeah, he has to go through the warehouse, and he does some sneaky warehouse shenanigans.
Yeah,
sliding through shelves and rolling under boxes and stuff.
we get to see him. We get to see his skills.
Yeah,
here.
turns out he's not just good at making a big scene; he could be covert.
Is his shirt still on at this point?
I think so.
Yeah, I can't remember entirely, but I seem to remember seeing his arms. So maybe his shirt is maybe he's gone sleeveless. I can't recall quite.
I think the most famous movie this guy was in previously was Tarzan the Ape Man.
Yeah, that's his
Tarzan,
with, Bo Derek
and a tour.
not bad.
That's another one he was in.
So yeah, I mean he's a guy who got famous for looking good without his shirt on. So
Yeah,
And he still does.
he's got a good physique. He's got a great head of hair. This is like an amazing hairdo.
It's something else, and he has different styles.
on a scale of 1 to Kurt Russell, it's about a 9.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a bit different than Kurt Russell, so it does its own thing. So he's not totally trying to rip it off, but we all know that he's trying to rip
Yeah. It's got the same general shape.
I like it when he kind of has it up in a ponytail later. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, when he's getting into it, he likes to keep it out of the way because nobody needs some strands flying into your mouth.
Yeah. It gives him that nice.
No, like you're massacring villagers.
Yeah.
So he gets taken to the space, and we meet Donald Pleasance.
Boy,
the
dude.
great.
The poor, he's having a hard time breathing. He's just huffing away at his inhaler like
His name is Senator Blaster.
Blaster.
Which is a good. It's a good name.
misnomer, kind of, because he's a caricature of the weakest kind of.
Yeah, Blaster has like an
pencil pusher.
extreme edge to it.
He's sitting there and he's chuffing away on his asthma inhaler.
He's making a very interesting performance choice here, where he's decided that he wants to play this senator character as like a person who's suffering from Ebola or something. Like he's just sweating from every pore. He's wheezing. He's like coughing and wheezing. He could drop dead at any second.
He's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
He screams at one point.
He just Pleasance really does play it like every moment existing is torture for him. He just cannot exist in a world.
Yeah, and could you imagine him standing off against Bob Ross? I don't think so. Bob Ross is the pinnacle of masculinity, and here's poor Donald Pleasance.
God, and Ross is a big tough guy too, and he talks down to him at every opportunity.
At one point they're talking about his service record. He's like, "Yeah, what desk were you commanding?"
Yeah.
That
pisses him off.
Desk jockeys like you is why we lost the war.
Yeah, that just sounds like It sounds right. I don't know much about it, but that sounds correct.
And we also have Bob Ross's old commanding officer, which is Mike Monty, as Colonel Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Less charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Troutman of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trubman's like he'll get the job done. He's getting the job right, and you better hope he doesn't come back alive. He's getting the job done.
Yeah.
Right. This guy's like, he's pretty okay. He came back alive.
Yeah.
This guy's kind of smirking and stuff as Bob Ross is taking him down. And this guy does, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have the gravity of Richard Crenna in the Rambo movies.
No.
But I have seen him in some other spaghetti westerns and stuff. He's got big eyebrows and a face you can recognize. But
he's smart. He's loving watching this guy eat a shit sandwich.
yeah,
just chewing down.
Yeah. He doesn't have any more patience for the bureaucrats than Bob Ross.
Hell no. And so basically, they're one thing I wanted to say, Donald Pleasance again. He makes no effort to conceal his British accent, no matter what level of American politician he's playing.
Any movie, in Escape from New York,
he's the goddamn president. And
foreign agent.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, so Donald Pleasance, he fumbles through this plan, and he's been like telling him where to go, and I forget what the towns were, but he's like, well, you need to go from here to here upriver, and the guy's like, yeah, I did a little work there, and he's just like upstage him the whole time, and we find out that what does he have to do? I couldn't really get a good handle on what the mission was. Go burn a village down or something like that.
I was hoping you guys knew.
That's a great question. It's all tied into him finding his son. But Donald Pleasance is like, if you want to find your son, you got to do this mission. You got to...
they have to stop these terrorists, I think what it is. That's why it's terrorists.
It must be, yeah.
And there's a lot of U.S. money riding on it, and your son is second fiddle. Basically, Donald Pleasance, he's like, I want the money first. And then, your son, if he lives, fine.
This is where Bob Ross threatens Donald Pleasance. He's like, I'll do your mission, but when I get back here, you're getting a suitcase in your ass, foot in your face, probably.
I'm going to feed you that inhaler, and then I'm going to shove your briefcase up your ass.
I'm going to fart in your mouth. I'm going to twist your skin and call them snake bites or whatever.
I'm going to give you a purple nurple.
your titties are getting twisted.
Yeah. I hope you wore some thin underwear because you're getting an atomic wedgie, and I want it to tear easy. So Donald Pleasance shits his pants, and Bob Ross leaves. Sorry, Senator Blaster shits his pants, and then Bob Ross leaves the building.
Yeah.
He's basically left there going, why I never.
Yeah. And so then cut to a submarine, a sweet sequence where they show a submarine in one clear lighting level. Then you're inside the submarine, it doesn't matter. Then they cut outside and it's completely black. And then you would show underwater and it's like broad daylight. It's just like they stitch these.
There's no effort made to continuity at any point in this movie.
This is like the suiting up montage in like a Joel Schumacher Batman movie. This is him like putting on his scuba gear and
you get to see all the sweet weapons.
Where in the Rambo 2, we got him coming out of the plane and it's like a really cool and like intense sequence where it goes wrong and the extraction or whatever.
Bob Ross looks like such a dork in this scuba gear. Like it's not cool looking scuba gear.
They do not have the budget. This isn't a James Cameron picture. They do not have the budget for the submarine. He gets out and we have a shark attack, right?
A great white shark attack.
This is brilliant.
I looked it up. It's not totally. Great whites attacks are rare in that region, but it's a John. It's from a Jacques.
Let me tell you, they're more of a cold water. South China Sea, I don't think so.
Should have been being attacked by a tiger.
They like the cold waters off of Maine.
This is like a bit of an Italian thing, I think, like a shark attack. Like, we have a spy movie. Let's how do we spice this up a little? Shark Attack? Okay, yeah, let's throw a zombie movie. How do we spice this up? Shark Attack?
So they don't have the budget for a shark, of course. So they're using archival nature show footage.
Yeah.
I would imagine this footage has appeared in about 100 Italians.
Yeah.
They have a budget for like a large rubber oven mitt, like 2 oven mitts that kind of have teeth that chomp together.
Yeah.
And they just really crudely intercut that with scenes of Bob Ross trying to swim through and escape to the point.
Yeah.
He gets up to like this shoreline, and there's like a Vietnamese guard.
Before he gets there, he's left with no choice but to explode this poor shark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, he's got like Rambo's got the arrows, the explosive arrows.
Bob Ross. Yeah, sorry.
Bob Ross has the explosive pistol. Like
Everything he has is explosive. It's just like if you ever play through like GoldenEye or whatever, and then you just change everything to explosive rounds, and you just kind of just shooting the rocket launcher is the only weapon you have as you're running through everything.
Yeah. This shark blows up like nobody's
Dual
business.
rocket launchers, unlimited ammo.
I mean, on the cover, he's got two rocket launchers on the cover of the movie.
You know what?
As promised.
What should have happened was he shoots the shark and it explodes and it turns into chum, and then like 100 more sharks come in, but they didn't have that in the budget.
No, not even close.
We had to be satisfied with the one shark.
And I'll take this shitty puppet shark and the archival shark footage over
Yeah,
CGI sharks chomping people any day.
Any day.
it worked for me. It definitely worked for me.
That's when you knew this movie really meant business. Before, you just seen about a dozen people die in other horrific ways, but now they're killing sharks, and this movie is serious.
Yeah.
So yeah, then he goes ashore, and he's on his way.
This is where he meets his son, right? He lands in the village, and this is the village his son lives in.
I think that's first he meets his contact. Who
Toro.
About at all before, I don't think. It's
Yeah.
which it might have been also in Rambo 2. It's like, oh hey, surprise. Your contact. This is
Weren't expecting a girl.
straight from Rambo 2.
We're expecting a Belgian.
When they meet up, they have the flattest conversation. The guy's like, Bob Ross is like, I had a little trouble along the way. And Toro's like, heh, okay. That's a quote.
Yeah.
Man, that shit just pops off the page. Is this a sword script?
It's like, are you French? Toro's like, I'm Belgian.
But you see Toro from the tree first, right? And you think maybe he's a bad guy. And then aiming a gun, and there's a cobra about to strike at Bob Ross. But then he shoots at the cobra. The cobra.
And turns out it was a piece of garden hose the entire time.
Rambo has, we didn't cover this, but Rambo has a cobra moment in
He stares it down.
Yeah.
Him and the cobra have an understanding. He catches it.
He snatches it quick as a cobra.
Man.
Does he snap its neck? Is that what happened? Or he cuts its throat?
I
Or
thought that he just like looked at it and he just like apex predators recognize apex predators. And they went their own way.
So baller. I mean, it goes in the pack. Rambo, Cobra, Bob Ross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then that's Bob Ross the painter. Then Bob Ross.
Yeah.
This guy.
Way down. Yeah. These are the greatest predators.
They're still pretty tough.
Yeah. And they meet up and then they're on their way. Like they go and now they go to the village, and he meets his son, and all I could think is like they have a little heart to heart. The son is completely stoned. Jan is completely stone faced.
Yeah, this scene has no emotional resonance.
It's just, this kid is fucking terrible.
Yeah,
but it's like a nice golden hour shot.
Yeah.
He's like sitting there staring off into the middle distance, and you
there's no evidence
sure what the kid thinks. Like,
he doesn't respond at all. You don't even know if he understands what Bob Ross is saying. He just got this like a kind of Stallone like vacant expression on his face.
The worst thing about this movie is this kid, and I never know what he's thinking.
No,
and then you never know what side he's on. Even when he says shit, you don't know if he's being honest, and it's annoying.
There's some weird twists and turns with their relationship throughout this that don't really emotionally resonate in any way. It just like don't ring true.
But immediately we do get insight into what Jan's feelings are, because Bob's like I just got some things I got to go do some laundry. and then you're going to come back to America with me. Here's a picture of me and your mom. And as soon as he leaves, Jan just like rips it up and throws away, he keeps the picture of his mom because that's who he...
You don't see what side of the picture. And funny enough, I looked at it because the mom was on the left. And then he tore the picture, and then he was holding the right side of the picture, which is the side his dad was on. And he kissed that side. I know that was just a goof. But I was like, why is he kissing his dad?
I hate you, Mom.
Does he hate his dad or not? And then I saw, oh, no, it is his mom.
That's the nuanced performance.
And then
it's a love-hate relationship.
all I could think when I
Truly, that is new. Oh, is this like a David Lynch movie?
Yeah, or just
Be a little bit confused.
you're supposed to kind of make a few leaps, make a few guesses.
An Italian thing.
All I could think of when he was tearing that up is that Simpsons bit where it's like, help, there's a little girl who's lost faith in democracy. Where he's just like, there's a little boy who doesn't believe in America anymore.
Well, he lives in Vietnam, and it's depicted as the world's worst shithole. In this movie, like, everybody just wishes they were dead. There's no place that's worse.
And this kid, this kid is just like a full-on Vietnamese villager. Like, he doesn't know his dad at all.
He has a life. He has friends.
Yeah. He's got, like, friends and family in the village.
Like, he's probably in an a cappella group on Thursdays or something like
yeah.
He speaks perfect English.
He's like, I wasn't looking for this, Dad.
Yeah, like, he's getting an education. He's learning things. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so anyways, Jan's like, fuck this guy. And then we go on to the mission to go and blow some people up for reasons. It doesn't matter.
Bob Ross and Toro, they steal some, like, Russian uniforms. Like, this is all part of their plan. They have to steal some uniforms and steal a truck and go on, like, a little road trip kind of thing.
They're so flippant. Like, they're all joking about it the entire time. It's like a sitcom beat.
Yeah.
They go and they murder these guys, and then it cuts to them in their uniforms.
Bob Ross just doesn't...
They're like, oh, looks good on we just murdered these guys.
Bob Ross looks so awkward in this uniform. Like, there's a scene where he's just walking around with, like, his hands in his pocket.
Can we just talk for a second? Like, Bob Ross, we're going to say this name a lot. The Joy of Painting had been on the air for, like, a full, 5 years by the time he came. Like, he's a household name.
Yeah.
That they went ahead with that name is so funny.
Bruno Mattei and Claudia Fergoso.
They don't have PBS in Italy.
What is the most generic American name? Robert Ross?
Hey, Barney Ross is Sylvester Stallone's name in the Expendables movies.
Interesting.
Yeah, 0 out of 12 people found this interesting on IMDb trivia.
Miles
It came
O'Keefe,
full circle.
he's American. He should have told them. He should be like, we have a Bob Ross. He's a very
Yeah, he paints.
yeah. But then they're on their way, and after 2 minutes, we jump back to Jan. We just sit and they're having a somber moment with him, and he's all forlorn. And then we find out that he is looking at a picture of his mother, and this gray-haired gentleman walks by and just looks at him and shakes his head. He's like, "That boy's suffering a broken heart," or something. Just really getting a moment to marinate in Jan's world for a while.
Yeah.
God, Jan sucks.
I finally understand what Jan's feeling.
It's a good thing that this movie is 70% Huts being blown up.
Yeah.
And 4% Jan.
There's 4 heavy duty village destruction scenes in this where there's just endless straw huts burning to the ground or military tents catching up on fire.
They're endless. I know. You see the village. You always see it in a wide shot. There's 6 huts. It's okay, what could possibly go bad here?
6 huts?
500 huts get blown up.
Yeah. Rambo only blew up 1 village.
Yeah.
Bob Ross did 4 in Rambo time. Mind you, Bob Ross got 5 days, and Rambo only got a day and a half.
Yeah.
So, right.
Okay. Yes.
He's pretty efficient.
It balances out.
Okay, so they've got their uniforms. They infiltrate the enemy base, right? And Toro's standing outside, and he's having a cigarette with some Rusky guy.
He's doing this great German thing. He just niet. Da.
Yeah, it's a recurring comedic bit. Where he
Was it German? No.
Well, Russian. Yeah, he's He only knows the two Russian words.
Yeah.
He knows da and he knows niet. And so there's like this recurring comedic bit where a Russian guard will come up to him and be like blah 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 blah, and then he'll just be like da or niet. That happens like 3 times before the Russian guards get wise to
Yeah,
this
they're
guy.
getting a little suspicious, and meanwhile, Bob Ross, he's inside their base, and he's got this little tiny cereal box spy camera, and he's going, click, 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 click. He's taking pictures of their documents, right?
Yeah. It's pretty sweet spy camera.
Yeah, this is Cold War era, the pinnacle of Cold War era spy technology.
Yeah. So the smallest camera they had. It's the smallest one we have, sir. Where am I supposed to put this?
You know.
And then, they're wise to him, and he has to use more of his martial arts expertise to dispatch everybody in sight.
Yeah, he's got some good karate moves.
Rambo could use more karate moves. He's just like a berserker brawler when he goes off the...
He's a knife man.
Yeah.
He's a fan of the knife crimes.
Yeah, you don't really see Rambo fight a lot. He mostly just, like, rips throats and, like, stabs guys.
Nowadays, I feel like with the MMA influence, you'd see him doing a few more rear naked chokes and...
Rambo's more of, like, a Michael Myers type killer.
Yeah. I'm a relentless knife murderer. That's kind of my claim to fame.
Yeah. And so he tears through this whole goddamn military complex, and he goes on his business. Him and Toro get out. But is there a prisoner? Do they free a prisoner along the way, or is he just...
I don't know if there was prisoners.
No prisoners.
No.
It's just him and Toro. Toro doesn't know how to navigate the jungle like Bob Ross does, and he falls right smack dab into a banana trap.
There's like a primitive wrecking ball.
Yeah, they're like, oh, bananas. And this wrecking ball flying down.
Ross like, that's not a banana tree.
Yeah, he goes, a trap. Bananas could be dangerous to your health.
And he saves him, but then they walk smack dab into the middle of a minefield, and Toro just gets cut on the arm, and he's done for. It doesn't look that bad, but he's like, I want to be out of this movie. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Avenge me, Bob Ross. And
they're big time fucked in that minefield.
Yeah, they have to cross the minefield. It's a real like brothers in arms moment where like Toro's laying on the ground with his flesh wound, and Bob Ross, he's such a hero that he's like, I gotta save you. No man gets left behind. But
and Toro's like, no, I'm a goner. And Bob Ross is like, okay. He has no qualms after that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I made my token effort.
Hey man, the kid, get out of there.
Yeah. He does do like a little. He pulls out his bazooka. It's kind of an all-purpose tool. Rambo has the knife. This guy's got the bazooka. He fires
a bazooka to open up his Budweiser.
Yeah, like he sets off the minefield. He clears a path for himself and the kid.
Yeah.
Like fires it into the minefield and like sets off a chain detonation.
Toro's got a grenade in his hand. He's like, leave them to me. And then the Russians come, and they're like, we got you. And he's like, surprise.
It's sweet.
You're in the middle of a minefield.
He lures them.
Yeah. He blows them to smithereens.
Yeah, there's a good 20 guys here who get blown up. They walk across a tripwire. They blow up. They go flying everywhere.
It's got so many classic... Okay, remember, when the explosion goes off, jump and do a somersault. Everybody jump and do a somersault when there's an explosion. Everybody's just like doing those...
It works.
Grab dives. It looks so sweet.
It's awesome.
And he gets him, and Bob Ross is away with Jan, and then he meets his riverboat contact, the
John McDougal, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's John McDougal is the character's name.
John McDougal.
He's a big white bearded guy, and he's a time character. He's always shit talking. McDouglas, whatever.
Yeah,
he's like a maritime fisherman.
And he meets Mary McDouglas, and boy, I hope nothing bad happens to her.
Yeah.
She makes it.
Nothing bad. So we got big shit talking character guy, the kind of guy who's always quick with a joke. And he first thing he does is explain that he's almost done with this life. 3 more months and I'm out of here.
Yeah. Classic.
Not at all marked for death.
No, he's like, I just got to make it to the end of this river, and boy, I'm gonna go start a fishing charter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
It'll be easy living.
So they take the boat up the river. Him and this babe, that's John McDouglas, who gives a fuck's daughter.
Mary McDouglas.
Born bombshell.
Yeah.
She's got her fatigues on.
And they're at this rendezvous point, and there's these. They're sitting there having some fruit at the table.
She says, "Go to this village."
I hear they have good food here. Or they have good food here. And don't get me wrong, but it's just like a fruit platter.
Yeah.
Like usually, like when it's like they have good food here, it's like what she means is they have food here. They
You won't starve to death.
it looks good, yeah.
They're at this village, this fishing village. Everyone there is mad dogging them, just like staring down Bob Ross. They sit down at the table, for the fruit platter, and Bob Ross is not, he's Rambo-esque in his ability to pick up on situational cues.
Always the smartest guy in the room.
He's got grenades.
He's like, these guys are mad dogging me. He sends his son and Mary off into the woods. He's like, why don't you guys go for a walk?
And
Jan's like, but I thought the food was good here.
and she's like, gee, you should have ate faster, Jan. It's time to go.
Hey, you had your chance.
They're ditching on the bells. What
I
are you doing?
hate you, Dad. God, I hate my
I didn't get a refill. So this guy, he's dining in Dash, and there's make no mistake about it. He's ditching on the bill. So a bit uncouth, if you ask me.
You don't think...
He's a bit of an ugly American in this context.
Do you think those guys weren't bad guys? Do you think he just didn't want to pay his tab?
I think so.
He's like, one lime, one coconut. That's going to cost.
I didn't see him pack a wallet in that weapons montage earlier, so I don't think he's got any cash on him.
10,000 via dong for how many coconuts? Fuck you, grenades.
We're going to go try the place downriver. We're going to go try the other place downriver. So he puts a grenade under the table, and it's pretty sweet.
He's doing like a funny prop comic routine where he's got a lime and he's got the coconut. He's dropping them under the table, and he looks under there. He sees that these villagers have combat boots on, so he knows something's up.
Yeah,
and he sneaks a hand grenade under there while he's doing this little his little coconut act.
Oldest trick in the book.
He says something that these villagers
do it all the
like.
time.
He's like, he makes like a little kind of a joke about Americans or something. I can't remember exactly what he says, but these villagers.
I'm sure it wasn't particularly smart or clever.
No.
Like, oh, I'm so clumsy. Me so clumsy.
Yeah, whatever he says, it totally sets the villagers at ease, and they're like, stupid American.
Yeah, this guy's a real fool. And then turns out he's a jokester, and it turns out the joke's on them because what does he do? Does he throw his knife at the table, or he does something to detonate the grenade? And...
No, he puts the coconut down on the table, and he's like, show me how you guys split up.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they drive the knife into the table right over top of the grenade, and he dives away, and one tiny grenade makes an explosion about equivalent to an H-bomb. These guys are fucking evaporating.
Genius.
Yeah. There's nothing left of the village, and he's like, oh, time to go. It's on to the next one.
Yeah, he said... Yeah, what he said was, I'm American. I don't know shit from Shinola.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We got to bring it back.
Yeah.
And they're like, we like Shinola. This
All
guy's...
the Vietnamese really love that. They're like, this stupid American, he doesn't know shit from Shinola.
And this is when I think some guy pops out with an assault rifle, and old man McDougal gets squibbed the fuck up.
He bites the big one.
Yeah,
he gets shot a million times.
Bob and Mary. Yeah, he gets Sonny Corleone. And Bob and Mary and Jan, they all run off, and Mary's just kind of like, it's real for a second. She's like, can I come to America with you or something? Like, I lost my dad, I lost my boat, I don't know anybody here, I don't speak the language, I don't know.
My life is over.
Yeah.
She's quite frank about it, but then also she's like immediately smirking. She's all like, does this happen to everybody who gets in contact with you?
That's a weird exchange.
Joking.
Yeah.
She has a couple of weird
dad just got fucking murdered in front of you, and like 10 seconds later, she's hugging this guy's arm whose fault it entirely was.
But you know what? That's why why his kid Jan is so pissed off. He's like, everyone around you dies, but you keep living.
He's just like, that's why James Bond can't have a girlfriend, because they just like, everybody around him dies. He's one of those people. He's like, if you don't invite him over to your party because he's probably going to kick open your door or something like that, and like not even leave an upper, he's going to leave an upper decker and then, drop kick the toilet bowl and leave shit water all over your bathroom floor.
Like these Russian soldiers, this kid, Bob Ross's kid, he's never had known this kid. He just entered this kid's life for the first time today. And now there's Russian soldiers attacking this kid's village, burning it to the ground, murdering it, like the village elders. Like, thanks, Dad.
I feel like immediately, if my father died, I would be glad.
Mary.
Later on, when he like betrays him, I totally get it. Like,
it
he had
makes sense.
Friends. He had just like he had a life, and this guy just comes.
I was a farmer.
I'd be glad if his father died too.
That would have been a great twist.
But alas, he has a couple more villages to tear through.
Yeah, then first. Next they go to a hotel, I think, and it's a nice little hotel, owned by some Vietnamese people,
a friend or something like that. Or
Mary is bathing the kid in this scene, right? Like she's like, he's all wet and she's like toweling him off, and it's a little weird because this kid, like the actor who plays this kid, he could very well be 20 years old. Like he's not like a 6-year-old kid getting a bath here.
He's probably like 14, 15.
Yeah, he could be anywhere from like 15 to 21, and I wouldn't be surprised.
In Italy, that's okay. Out here, we don't address.
It's preferred.
That's not.
They had to swim like down the Mekong to get. They lost their boat, so they're just telling.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's a comforting act. She's lost her father, and
this guy, he just met his father, and it turns out he's an asshole.
I wish he was dead.
Yeah, and
I would be glad.
and then there's an ambush at the hotel.
It's like, Mary, go to bed, and she goes to bed, and like 2 seconds later, he looks out the window, and there's a million fucking cars coming,
like clockwork.
Yeah,
it's Russians and Vietnamese.
When you know it,
they have to pull a Temple of Doom. They the hotel owner, she's handy with a weapon, so she's like, I got this. And
she's
for some
on
reason,
the balcony with the Rambo machine gun. For that Rambo takes off the helicopter in the last movie, she's got that machine gun.
Her and her husband. I think her husband gets lit up really fast, really quick, standing at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And then she's shooting guys with an AK. And
she's just on the balcony.
Hands her like the 50 cal belt-fed machine gun. And she's like, I got this. This is all I have.
Yeah.
I'll die for you, Bob Ross. You're the greatest.
Like, look at her go.
And then they have to like go into Temple of Doom for a minute where she's like, Mary's like, why'd I have to get into this trouble with you? And then let's jump through a bunch of, hauntings and on the street. And
monkey brains. Yeah.
And they're on their way. And they're going. And then there's more Russians. There's more villages.
There's a really good Jeep chase here.
Yeah, there's a Jeep chase.
Like, there's some high-quality action scenes here. There's
there's a helicopter chasing a Jeep.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Fucking impressive. The helicopter budget in this movie is...
Oh, yeah. There's like 3 or 4 helicopters that play at various, like, points in the movie.
Not one Marvel movie has helicopter action like this. Not one.
And if they did, it would just be CGI. It wouldn't be
like a 4th-rate Rambo knockoff. It has fucking helicopters, real ones, racing with cars at low altitudes,
on a budget,
high speeds, on a fucking budget.
As many explosions
are exploding.
Yeah,
exploding for real.
The budget is a rounding error on any Marvel movie's budget.
Yeah.
They're doing for nothing.
Right.
Yeah. They get amazing mileage out of these helicopters. They have the helicopter chasing the Jeep scene. They have multiple helicopters chasing the guy scene. They have fight on a helicopter. He fights Bo Svensson or whatever, but on the helicopter. They get like in a fist fight later on.
Oh, big time.
Like, all for the price of like Anthony Mackie appearing on The Tonight Show to like sing carpool karaoke with.
Yeah.
You can get a movie like this.
Oh,
try this at home.
We took a wrong turn.
This is entertainment. And they get away after like some sweet action.
They're dropping bombs crazy everywhere. And yeah,
this is where
the Jeep finally crashes, blows up like everything in this movie.
yeah,
They get out safely, but the boy somehow, even though he's with them the entire time, he double-crossed.
yeah,
Yeah, big time.
this is where it comes to a head.
It's a
And then they're captured for all of 5 minutes.
Yeah,
If Ross immediately escapes.
the boy realizes he's made a big mistake because he gets, he betrays his dad and they both get captured by the Russians and they get taken to this, kangaroo court. And the Russians are like, they make Jan read out his father's sentence. This is where it's like, oh, you're going to be summarily executed.
they give him
Right
a
now.
handgun.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're the executioner here, buddy. You're one of us. You shoot your father in the head. And that's when Jan's like,
You can't do it,
I didn't really think this through.
pussy.
What a dumb thing for them to do.
Yeah. But it's almost like it's a Star Wars Emperor Palpatine thing where they're like, Luke, take your place and kill your father.
Communist dark side. So over here we kill our dads.
You want to be part of the Soviet Union, don't you?
So, but 2 seconds later, he has a change of heart, and like Return of the Jedi, it's the same thing. Where it's like all it takes is the opportunity to kill your father, and if you don't do it, then you realize, oh, I actually love my father, and he changes his mind immediately.
Yes,
And
it's so immediate.
It's immediate.
This is supposed to be the emotional payoff of their relationship, but just like the rest of it, it's emotionally unconvincing. It comes out of left field. It's like,
This is why the Soviet Union failed, because they hadn't seen Return of the Jedi.
yeah, exactly.
They know that patricide isn't easily accomplished.
They probably had their weird Soviet knockoff.
Yeah.
Return of the Space Wizard.
So they escape, and
This is where he just goes buck wild with the bazooka.
yeah, you see him getting all of his gear. He straps up like Commando. It's got all the like Sam Raimi-esque zoom in things.
Yeah.
He's strapping up. He's got all the ammo.
You know it's going to get good.
He has like
And
4 to
grenades.
5 different types of projectile explosives. He's got like one of those machine guns that's also a grenade launcher. He's got
Yeah.
launchers and grenades.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, finally, some action.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that need to get blowed up.
That's been nonstop.
I've been waiting for an
explosion
explosion.
for 100 minutes.
It's a little slow.
Yeah, and he just loves his bazookas so much. Bob Ross, I never had Bob Ross for a bazooka guy, but here we are.
He was a military man.
He was a drill sergeant, I heard. Yeah. Which is kind of hilarious.
Interesting.
I don't know if he ever fired a bazooka. Maybe he did on his own men.
That's like you always hear about that urban legend about Mr. Rogers and how he's like a Vietnam sniper with like a million confirmed kills. I think that's just an urban legend. No. But it was a popular urban legend.
It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. Why don't you take a little step to the left? Yeah. There we go.
Accounting for the wind.
Chris Kyle was Fred Rogers.
Clint Eastwood.
So he's got to get out. It's broad daylight again, and he's running. He's just shooting and blowing up more people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's he starts to do lots of somersaults. The helicopters come in and start trying to shoot him. He's like just rolling down hills, doing somersaults, doing just like
Evasive
We
maneuvers.
do get also a scene before that where he blows a guy up, where it focuses in on one guy who also can't shoot him for the life of him. And he shoots the guy directly with a rocket, just like in Rambo 2.
Yeah.
The guy
This was the guy. This
shot
was
with an
the
explosive arrow.
the karate prankster from earlier. The guy who jumped out of the dark in the dark room with the karate
was
chop.
that guy?
Yeah. This was a moment that they've been building up. Like
Man,
this was the payoff for that karate prank earlier.
it's not as cool as a bow and arrow bazooka, which Rambo
No.
had, but the regular bazooka sure does the job of blowing that
Yeah.
him come.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's running from the chopper, and he does once again the exact same thing from Rambo 2. Eventually,
dead.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, lays down
Before this happens,
as a bazooka.
So before this happens, Bo Svensson's coming in his helicopter, and he's just a little gnashing. He's just gnashing his teeth, licking his chops, and he's like, "Let's go take a look at him." And they pan up, and there's full on 2 crew members, 100% visible, just standing beside a couple trees, just hanging out. I paused and rewound it like 5 times to like get it to pause in the right spot to take a picture. It's so funny. And then,
There's that boob mic.
and then yeah, pretty much. Passing the picture around.
Just taking a look at the picture. There's a couple of guys in t-shirts with wristwatches and all that.
And Bo
They're
Svensson.
carefully camouflaged in the bushes.
Yeah, there's Mario and
Giuseppe, yeah.
Giuseppe.
Doc,
Just chill, just looking at hey, there's a helicopter flying up right there.
get out of the shot.
And he tricks him so hard. Again, like I don't know why these guys aren't just shooting these people from like 500 yards off.
Yeah. You've got a helicopter.
Arsenal they have at their hand.
No sense. I would have turned that guy to fucking goo
Yeah.
if I had half the chance. But he had some note in his pocket, right? And they come and check the note from his pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, Das
And written on it, yeah, Das Vidane, yeah. He thinks he's really cool and clever.
Yeah.
Like,
That
And you know that was written in English too.
yeah, that was not the
nice. But we had to be able to read it.
Yeah. That pops up a few times. He's got like a little back and forth with Bo Svensson.
Yeah, Bo Svensson's like he's like game recognized game and
Yeah. He's like Das Vidanya to you, and then oh no, counter the Das Vidanya at you.
Wait, what does Das Vidane mean? Are we about to be killed?
Yeah. Is that his name?
just a couple more dummies left in the budget. just go to get exploded, and it's great.
Make full use of the dummy.
There's but then he jumps on the helicopter, and they have a fist fight on the helicopter, and there's some great ADR.
They were nowhere. He was nowhere near the helicopter too. Like he's laying on the ground, and then they read the note. He's like about 100 yards away, and then cut, and he's somehow grabbed onto the helicopter, and the guys are guys like
Oh, he's here.
He's like an Olympic gymnast.
yeah, he's like Nightcrawler.
Yeah. He's swinging around these things like the helicopter's landing gear or whatever.
He's so nimble. He's so athletic.
Like we're having fun here, but once again, these are fucking kick-ass stunts.
Yeah.
And like it's men hanging from helicopters. This shit is cool.
It's sweet.
So, yeah. It's an amazing action sequence. Everything that you could possibly do on a helicopter fist fight, they pretty much get it in.
Yeah, and Bo Svensson's in the back of the helicopter, and they get in a fist fight while the pilot's like keeping it even keel.
Yeah.
And then they get him, and you can hear there's lots of great ADR doors like, will you cut that out? and shut up. Just like
Yeah.
Will you cut that out?
it's just like that's just always what you say when you're in a brawl, like life or death. We cut that out.
Oh, there's a scene earlier where Bob Ross is invading one of the villages, and there's a Vietnamese guard there, and the guard is like, "Don't move, you." That is just it. It's the perfect like non-committal guard line. I don't know. There's no urgency to it whatsoever.
No. It's
the producers doing ADR.
Yeah.
That's a hallmark of 80s movies. Or
You there?
movies, I should say. And I mean, as far as Italian go, this one's not that bad.
No, this is
It's ADR-wise.
the whole budget's on screen. It looks great.
Yeah.
Every penny is on screen.
They make it work.
Yeah, maybe they got Miles O'Keefe for a case of Budweiser.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they paid for those helicopters and they used them.
And he kills Bo Svensson. He kills the pilot. He goes back to gets his son, gets Mary back.
Some good smirking and quipping all the way.
Yeah. Oh, there's a moment earlier where you think Mary's gonna get it. They like profess their love for each other or whatever, and then immediately she's sprayed with bullets, but all of them miss. Mary makes it out okay.
It's a miracle.
She does get hit. She does get clipped with a bullet, and she's like, I'm okay. Yeah, we're just having such a fun day.
Yeah, this always happens.
Been like had a million bombs thrown at me. My father was killed earlier today, and like I've been shot.
I'm running off with a mass murder, probably war criminal.
I'm having so much fun.
Several villages have burned down while I've been in your company.
Yeah. I've watched you destroy like 500 huts.
Yeah.
This movie
You're like
watched this movie watched Holy Grail and Lancelot just tearing through a wedding. Like that's what Bob Ross is doing this entire time. Just
Totally.
Yeah.
just like, oh, they have nice shoes. Better kill them.
To finish.
Yeah.
and they go back to base, and the whole time while this is all going on, there occasionally they'll cut back to Donald Pleasance just wheezing away and huffing away at his puffer. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he's late. He's running late. I want the mission dead. Abort the mission. Abort. Oh, this heat.
He seems to be getting even more sicklier as the movie goes on. Like somehow you thought he was at
he's gonna
peak
die.
levels. Yeah,
Ross is after him.
he's in the late stages of Ebola now. Like he's about to start bleeding from his eyes and ears and stuff.
Yeah, and Bob Ross comes in, and he just tells him off, and he's like,
Says, I get my son, you get a bigger desk. You little wimpy ass little son of a bitch. You both.
those are the last
It
words.
repeats that line.
That's
at
the
end of
last
the movie.
words. The last lines of dialogue in the movie are wimpy ass little son of a bitch.
I think it's you little wimpy ass little son of a bitch. You little.
He told that bureaucrat.
He walks out. Jan's like, I love you, Dad.
Oh yeah,
Papa, and I love America. Won't you show me the movies of
yeah.
America?
This kid did a full 180. He hated his dad before. Now he's like, Daddy, Dad,
And they walk off.
Papa.
and-
Now that I've seen you murder a million of my
Yeah. Yeah, I got no home to go back to. I mean,
they cut to a better song as he takes this kind of like war orphan home who's like just met him, and it's like, and then cut to Losing You by sung as performed by Rosanna Napoli. Better song than Rambo 2.
this is an amazing song, but it is so detached from this movie, from the non-exploitation action that we've just witnessed, that it's so at odds with it that it's
You describe it as like a slow jam ballad.
yeah, it's like you could see like an 80s like a Tiffany or somebody doing a song of this. Like,
Bonnie Tyler was busy that weekend.
yeah. What's this lady's name?
Rosanna Napoli.
Rosanna
Rosanna
Napoli.
Napoli. Yeah.
And there is a certain quality
Italian.
Yeah, like much like Italian dialogue translated to English, there seems to be something a little off about this song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, credits and standing ovation.
Yeah.
Well, I believe in the American dream. I believe in our military, America's military,
I believe in
even if the bureaucracy doesn't.
the supremacy of helicopters, aircraft.
Just okay. So Rambo 2 versus Double Target from 1998 or 1988.
87.
Okay.
Whenever.
And there's somewhere.
Well, which one did you guys like better?
Wow.
I might lean Rambo 2 a little bit. As much as I didn't like the politics, I did like the explosions. This had a lot, but
It's the same politics in either one.
Rambo's wore way more. I thought it wore a bit more, obviously, but this movie had great helicopter work. I really love the helicopter chase in Rambo. That's sweet. I love chicken surprise.
Yeah.
Although this movie does have fruit and fruit ambushes. There's the banana trap. It's got the coconut trap that he lays on those guys. So
Lots of karate traps.
it's
Fruit ambushes. Stay tuned for our next series.
pick a day. I could go either one.
Yeah, pretty much. You can see how like the politics of Double Target are a little confused compared to the politics of Rambo. Like it's definitely filtered through that Italian lens. Rambo gets points for being the prototype. Like it's pretty clear Double Target is a ripoff of Rambo, but Double Target gets points for upping the ante in a lot of regards. Like where Rambo will have a helicopter chase, Double Target will have 4 helicopters chasing a guy or something. Like, so it is almost a coin flip between these two. For sheer entertainment value, maybe on this viewing, maybe I'll give it to Double Target, just because I've seen Rambo before. This is my first viewing of Double Target, so maybe there's a more like initial impact is a little stronger. Yeah, Double Target's my vote.
Luke?
I have to say Double Target with a bullet. It's way more fun to watch. It didn't leave as bad a taste in my mouth as Rambo 2 did.
Yeah.
Like I said, it has the exact same politics.
It's an Italian echo of those politics.
Yeah.
I knew that because
It's
of
a
Rambo, we
fucking-
have so many movies just shoving that message down our throats.
Yeah, I feel like there's a whole well of non-exploitation movies. We could probably do an entire podcast about them.
Oh yeah, this will definitely be a theme that pops up again.
Yeah,
Like do a second tour.
Do a second tour duty. I think Double Target's just a lot of fun. Rambo 2 is pretty good too. It's not my favorite in the Rambo series, not even but well, I don't know. It's probably my second favorite in the Rambo series.
Diminishing returns on that series.
Yeah.
We're not going back to Nam next week. We're gonna
Hell yeah.
next time we're gonna be heading to Philip K. Dickville. We're going to take a look at a couple movies that were based on his works. We're gonna compare. Philip K. Dick. We're gonna do Minority Report. Pretty big guns on that one, and we're gonna compare that to Screamers, 1995 Screamers. So thank you for listening. As always, I'm Vaughn Gonziola with
Mitchell McIsaac.
Luke Slobod. This has been High and Low. Thank you very much.